The Democrats are always asking, how do we win back men? Just be real. Not a monster and not a doormat. Is that so hard? And as far as the last 10,000 years thing, well, who invented the wheel and figured out fire? I don't know. No one knows. Totally could have been a woman. And women throughout history undoubtedly would have contributed more if men had taken them more seriously, like those African-American math whizzes at NASA who helped put a man on the moon. Can't the pendulum ever land in the middle in this country? Can't we have something in between a complete who dares not open his mouth for fear of mansplaining and owning a tiger?
Let's now focus on Bill Maher. We're talking about the broader, continuing discussion about masculinity in today's society, not just one of his typical political outbursts. It is true indeed. The comedian who has never shied away from making fun of everything from Republicans to Hollywood elites recently focused on guys who are the newest target in Tinseltown's cultural conflicts. Even if you disagree with him, you have to acknowledge that he makes some good points. This is the circumstance. Maher draws attention to feelings that many of us have but seldom express out loud. Being a man seems forbidden all of a sudden. Every time you watch TV or browse social media, traditional masculinity is called poisonous. The ignorant dad who can't prepare breakfast without lighting the kitchen on fire is a stereotype that you are all too familiar with. The husband who requires instruction to fold his own laundry, or the dude who says something and gets called toxic right away. Father's Day now seems more like a joke than a celebration. Maher is not amused. He criticizes Hollywood for consistently depicting fathers as incompetent. We have all witnessed innumerable instances of wives taking care of men who behave like adults. While attempting to do laundry in commercials, the father floods the house. Every comedy on TV show centers on the clumsy husband who is incapable of doing anything correctly. After a time, it begins to feel like a biased message, almost like propaganda, even though the first few laughs are entertaining.
For Father's Day, we just celebrated the last one that takes place in a culture where dads have become such punching bags. Literally the last demographic group that TV, ads, and movies can still depict as clueless, useless dipshits. Basically just another child that mom has to look after. Every sitcom is, tonight on ABC, Larry burns down the house. And the tagline in the commercial for every household product is basically, because your husband is a moron.
Moving in together. It's a big step. A test. A test that Jeff failed miserably.
Bad jokes are not the only aspect of the issue. It's conditioning. It teaches viewers, particularly kids, that fathers are nothing more than punchlines and that males are inherently incompetent. The very concept of masculinity is meant to make you roll your eyes. However, Maher calls it out, which is what he does best. Enough, he yells in the middle of the mayhem. He's not saying that guys have always been flawless. No one is arguing that the last 10,000 years have been perfect or tranquil. Along the road, there have always been oppressors and worthless people. However, the swing of the pendulum is too great. Why are we unable to achieve equilibrium? Why are guys unable to be strong without being domineering and confident without being haughty? Is that really so difficult? It seems to be, at least in Hollywood. Maher joked that the 1980s film 3 Men and a Baby, in which 3 adult men failed to save a newborn, is likely where this pattern originated. Married with Children followed, Home Improvement, The Simpsons, Family Guy, Modern Family, and numerous other shows followed. The idiot dad became well known in the community, and decades later, we're still stuck with the same old cliches.
3 men and a baby. The premise of which is that 3 grown men can't manage to keep a baby alive. The same year gave us Married with Children, with its idiot shoe salesman of a father, followed by an endless parade of eye-roll, short-bus dads, Homer Simpson, Family Guy, Modern Family, Malcolm in the Middle, Everybody Loves Raymond, Home Improvement, according to Jim. And it's not just the old-school broadcast TV sitcoms. It's everywhere. It's highbrow streaming stuff, it's major motion pictures, it's minor motion pictures. It's in everything. And look, I know, I don't have any kids. I made a different choice in life and decided to have money.
However, this is where things start to get truly intriguing. Maher's argument goes beyond merely stating that men are treated unfairly. It's about intellectually cheap, lazy storytelling. When every show portrays the husband as the clumsy fool and the wife as the all-knowing genius, you're not advocating for equality. It is essentially propaganda to promote that viewpoint with a laugh track. To be honest, males shouldn't be the only ones who are outraged. True equality is about balance, not switching from one kind of mocking to another. Let's take a deeper look. Maher is discussing cultural indoctrination, which goes beyond television. Consider the children who are viewing this material. They take in the idea that males are inept and mothers are perfect. They are raised believing that men are solely deserving of mockery and should not be respected. That is inequality. That is indoctrination. Additionally, it's causing an issue that has an impact on how a whole generation views respect and manhood.
All be lying about what it's like to have kids.
Your EQ is off the charts, Nick.
Aha, Nick. I'm Nick now. What happened to Dad?
Well, I don't know, Nick. What happened to the dad?
Hey, come in here.
Why are you acting so I mean, it is only $10.
Do you hear how they talk to me? Do you hear how you gotta say something?
Whoa, hold on. When are you guys planning on coming home?
By 11 or 12?
Yeah, Sam.
You know you both have school tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. We do. Yeah, he's right.
Solid parenting, Dad. Come on.
Today's youth are more perplexed than ever about what it truly means to be a man. They are instructed to be self-assured but not combative, powerful but not domineering, and protective but not domineering. The few well-known voices discussing masculinity, however, are frequently extreme, either performative male feminists pleading for acceptance or internet influencers promoting a poisonous, cartoonish view of manhood. There are individuals who are afraid of upsetting anyone, and there are others like Andrew Tate who rant into a camera about authority and compliance. Maher is correct to note that teenage boys are lured to someone like Tate because they have so few other options. Given that the rest of society consistently depicts males as weak, ignorant, or repressive, is it really shocking that young guys worship the loudest voice purporting to speak for men?
Besides being historically naive, this cringy pandering is why teenage boys flock to like Andrew Tate. Now, if you don't know who he is, your teenage son does. He's an accused turned influencer whose videos get billions of views, where he says things like women should bear responsibility for being assaulted. Yes, he's a huge and your kid thinks he's cool because that's the choice of role models that an American teenage boy has, either performative or the manosphere.
The irony is that while everyone is fixated on toxic masculinity, poisonous insecurity seems to vanish. Maher notes that in order to prove they are good guys, men are under pressure to openly express their affection for women. You have personally witnessed it. Celebrities disgrace themselves on the red carpet by asserting that women are more intelligent than men and that they make better leaders. Today, performative guilt is the predominant ritual. It is said by Ryan Gosling. It is worn by Harry Styles on a t-shirt. Barack Obama has even made jokes about women's unquestionable superiority. However, the last time I looked, leadership skills weren't exclusive to any one gender.
Today, they're like Trump. They think the rules don't apply to them. And Mom is always the smart one, the good one. He's just lucky to be in her orbit. And I get it that this is a correction to centuries of women being deemed the weaker sex, but how long does the correction last? And when will men stop making me throw up in my mouth with the way they pander so nakedly? Ryan Gosling says, I think women are better than men. They're better than us. And Harry Styles' t-shirt agrees. Terry Crews believes it. He says women are smarter than men for real. Even Barack Obama says about women that what I can say pretty indisputably is that you're better than us. Really? Because I don't remember Michelle taking out bin Laden.
Maher is straightforward and honest at the same time. This is pandering, not development. No one is empowered by appeals to one side. When gratitude is overused, it ceases to be sincere regard and becomes theatrical adulation. Let's also not overlook the facts. Both men and women are capable of greatness and horrible blunders. As history demonstrates, men have brought us electricity, aircraft, and the internet, but they have also brought about conflict and pollution. Though they have governed empires and made brutal political judgments, women also provide leadership, empathy, and creativity. Nobody becomes virtuous by magic when they have power. Whether it's Indira Gandhi enforcing authoritarian rule or Queen Mary burning Protestants at the stake, bravery and corruption don't care about chromosomes. Maher contends that we must abandon the notion that if women controlled the entire world, they would inevitably perform better. Yes, it's a reassuring illusion, but that's all it is.
Will Ferrell's quick human history recap.
Men, we've been running the show since what, 10,000 BC? Something like that? And we're not doing so good. Isn't it just time for women to run the planet?
Yes, a sentiment Leonard Cohen concurs with, saying, I wish the women would hurry up and take over. Well, you know what? Many of them have. And it wasn't that different. Queen Mary burned 300 people at the stake just for being Protestant. Cleopatra, Catherine the Great, Golda Meir, Indira Gandhi, none of them were any less violent or than men. Hillary voted for the Iraq War. Marie Antoinette let them eat cake.
Gender is not a determining factor in good leadership. Courage, ethics, and understanding are. In a similar vein, placing someone in a leadership role merely to highlight diversity is tokenism rather than empowerment. Maher is reflecting back on our entire culture, not just Hollywood. Respect for one another is more important than depriving men of their dignity. We appear shocked when boys cease caring after decades of making fun of guys. What were we anticipating? And no, males are not victims of this. It just means that, like women, they are human beings deserving of respect. They ought to be portrayed without mockery. When your power goes out and comes back in 20 minutes, that's because a man in a raincoat went out in the lightning and climbed a pole, Maher famously remarked. That's the concept. Men have been creating, fighting, sacrificing, and inventing for thousands of years. They worked in mines, created civilizations, invented technologies, and lost their lives in combat. However, they were later informed that it is risky to take pleasure in that legacy. That is cultural amnesia, not development.
He built the railroads and the roads, not to mention democracy and the Bill of Rights. And oh yeah, dying by the tens of millions to end slavery, defeat fascism, and face down communism. When your power goes out and comes back in 20 minutes, that's because a man in a raincoat went out in the wind and the lightning and climbed a pole and with live wires. I'm just saying, men were not completely useless.
Men developed the railroads and the roadways we use on a daily basis, not to mention the fundamentals of democracy and the Bill of Rights. Fighting against fascism, communism, and enslavement claimed tens of millions of lives. Because a man in a raincoat braved wind, lightning, and live wires to climb a pole, your electricity is restored in 20 minutes. To put it another way, males were by no means worthless. Maher poses a straightforward but impactful question to all of us. How can we explain all of this if males are purportedly undeserving?
Democrats are always asking, how do we win back men? Just be real. Not a monster and not a doormat. Is that so hard? And as far as the last 10,000 years thing, well, who invented the wheel and figured out fire? I don't know. No one knows. Totally could have been a woman. And women throughout history undoubtedly would have contributed more if men had taken them more seriously, like those African-American math whizzes at NASA who helped put a man on the moon.
Why did men work so hard to create all the modern amenities we take for granted? Male inventiveness has produced ideas, labor, the internet, plumbing, electricity, and even the phones we use for browsing. You only need to recognize it. You don't have to worship it. Naturally, this does not lessen the accomplishments of women. No one is asserting that. Maher goes so far as to say that humanity would have achieved much more if males had treated women equally early in history. He is correct too. From innumerable leaders and inventors who were disregarded or ignored to the African-American women mathematicians at NASA, whose work helped take men to the moon, women have consistently demonstrated that intelligence knows no gender.
Let's not pretend, my fellow humans with the who are so down on yourselves, that your convenient, pleasant, cushy lives would be anything close to that without a few little things that men did contribute, like electricity, and batteries, and movies, microphones, the plow, the compass, the clock, the alarm clock, the printing press, the internet, the toilet. The telescope, penicillin, planes, the Magna Carta, the telephone, the smartphone, rockets, the theory of universal gravitation, refrigeration, air conditioning, the theory of evolution, the computer, AI. Oh, sorry about that one.
Honoring women is not the issue. Pretending that doing so necessitates demeaning males is the issue. And that is the main focus of this entire conversation. Opposition has been confused with equality. We've opted for a game in which everyone loses. Cultural tug of war over harmony and humiliation over balance. When there is true equality, neither men nor women are in charge of the other. It entails uniting, each making a significant contribution and being appreciated for who we are rather than what we are. If you want to know what to get Dad for Father's Day, how about a little respect? Maher concludes the idea. It's not a joke. It serves as a warning. Exercise caution. Be respectful rather than sympathetic or guilty. Fear has muffled the importance of masculinity, yet it still exists. Additionally, if we continue to act as though making fun of males is innocuous, we are creating a generation that has no idea what true leadership, authority, or balance look like. Perhaps it's time to follow Maher's advice and allow the pendulum to settle in the middle. A place where men can be themselves without feeling guilty and women can be themselves without feeling competitive, where praise isn't predatory and laughter doesn't diminish anyone. If you're sick of seeing dads portrayed as clowns and guys treated like punchlines in Hollywood, click like. We can alter the narrative more quickly the more we discuss this. Let's return to showing consideration and respect. One thing is certain, we are all related regardless of gender. As always, I'll continue to speak out. If you believe it's time to embrace balance rather than make fun of masculinity, please leave a comment below. Now let's begin the discussion. We're only getting started, so don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one.